Only fucking what kind of dumbass option is that? Anyway, welcome back to another episode of the Flozone podcast. It's episode 43, and you better not fuck with me and my gang. All right, because we got Stan the Man, and we got Zahir all cool. Bro, I've told you it's gonna be a tradition. It's gonna be a tradition. I gotta try tie in the number with something,
I'm
bro.
embracing it.
Stanley, you wanna know how long it took me to think of that?
Really?
2 weeks. Two
You should have
weeks.
lied and just said it was off top, bro.
Nah, real niggas. Nah, because our chat. There's one thing about it. They realize. Okay, that would have been authentic. So yeah. Sorry, I had to open my third eye. J. Cole's is closed, so I had to do it for him.
All right, we're not here to talk about J. Cole. Anyway, continue.
I'm sorry. Oh, but pretty much we're just gonna be talking about NBA playoffs and how we're feeling about them. So most teams have played like 4 games, I think. Some series tied, some series getting their backs blown out. We can start off with my personal favorite, Timberwolves versus Suns.
We should start in the East, bro.
Why? Okay. We
I
can
mean, we
start
can
with
do
the Heat
Timberwolves, but
Celtics.
it's gonna be like weird to just jump around here to there to there to there.
Okay.
If you know what
We
I'm
can
saying.
we can start with Heat Celtics.
All right.
Being entirely honest, I hope we win. I don't think there's a non-zero chance we could win this. The weird thing about this series is that it took a historic 3-point shooting night for it to happen. But I don't feel that I'm crazy. I don't feel like I'm crazy or delusional for thinking we could do that again. I don't
Can
know.
you
I
do
think
it
that
three
is a
more
little bit
times?
delusion.
That's the question.
I don't feel like it's a delusion. I don't know. Greg, where do you stand on this?
A bit delusional.
Okay.
It's not a bit. He's being nice. He's your friend.
Yeah, you're a bit delusional, buddy. It's all right, but that's how we get through life.
Hey man, it helped me this far. But I don't know. I know that we're gonna lose, but I don't feel that feel that this Boston team is that special.
You're putting up a good fight, especially with not having two of our best players out there. So,
yeah, and Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier.
So I mean, we're putting up a fight, and if Boston could lose to us, like for the rest of the series, like anything could happen, bro. Anything could happen. That light skin nigga might not show up. Like, you know what I mean?
He won't. He won't actually.
Yeah.
You want to know what's funny? Jaylen Brown will probably bail him out.
But then they'll talk about his left hand when they lose.
But I would be honest, right? I don't think the Jaylen Brown left hand thing is that big of a deal. Like, I feel like some people try to make it seem like he's like John Stockton or something. Like, he just doesn't have a great dribble, and sometimes he dribbles it off himself. But I don't feel like it's bad enough to where it's like, oh, he's just this gigantic liability. But yeah, we're probably gonna lose this. But I'm just gonna be a little delulu and think that we can win. I don't know.
No, I don't think we're winning this series.
Win the series or like win another game?
Oh, we'll win another game, but I don't think we're winning the series.
I could see y'all losing in 6.
It'll be a respectable loss.
Maybe 5. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow.
I don't know, man.
Heat in 6.
Bro,
you said what?
We're losing in 6.
I hope so.
I don't have faith. Okay, can we have a conversation about Jason Tatum? I understand that he's a star. I understand that he's a star and he's a young star thrown into a playoff contending team. So his record is just not going to be good because he's a young star on a playoff contending team. He's just not going to have a clean record. if I give LeBron a pass, I have to also give Tatum a pass. But equally, I'm not even talking really about playoff performances as much as is Jason Tatum. I need to tread lightly. But does Jason Tatum tend to disappear in bigger moments?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to be the dude who's like, is Jason Tatum overrated? I don't think he's overrated. I think he's a phenomenal basketball player. But I just feel that, like, for a dude who idolizes Kobe, you play the exact opposite when the last 2 minutes come around. I don't know. That's just me. Because I look at this Celtics team, and it's very dependent on him.
I think.
What were you going to say, Stan?
The real issue with Boston is they have a terrorist coach, Joe Mazzulla. Mm-hmm. He's been criminal, and he showed it to you when you had your historic game that you guys won the other day. You guys made an adjustment at halftime. They stopped making threes. You guys started making threes, and he just stood there and did nothing. All right, guys, don't worry. The shots will start hitting again. Like, there's too many coaches with that kind of mindset where they just live or die by what they believe in, and they just don't make any kind of adjustment to the game, or they just here for vibes, almost like, oh, we have a good team, so we'll be fine. Like,
we'll get to the other terrorists soon.
No, absolutely. We're gonna mark them out. Trust me, we gonna mark them out. It's not just him, bro. There's a lot. I have an agenda. But anyways, so like when you really think about it, if we list the starting lineup, so the Boston Celtics, you start with Drew Holiday, elite defender. Derek White, elite defender. Jaylen Brown, a good on-ball defender. Jason Tatum, a good two-way player. I don't think he's that two-way is what people say he is, but he's solid, good team defender. You got Porzingis, good rim protector. Essentially, when you look at that lineup from top to bottom, aside from Minnesota, there shouldn't be another team defensively that's better than them. Whether it's perimeter, interior, just any way, they just the best defense. And then you turn around, you look at the Heat that's missing a Terry Rozier, a Jimmy Butler. So it's like really your only scoring option is really Tyler Hero, who's a secondary scorer. He's not really a primary scorer.
The secondary scorer that should be coming off the bench.
And exactly. And you let a whole bunch of role players on the Heat go off, and they couldn't stop them. So to me, that's coaching. That's not really those players. Eric Spoelstra is coaching circles around Joe Mazzulla, and it's been obvious. I think the injuries that you guys are sustaining is the reason why you guys won't come out the series. But 100%, you guys are playing better than Boston. Just y'all don't have the personnel to beat them, to be honest. That's just what I see it as. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's Jason Tatum not being him or Jason Tatum not – because offensively, he's been more criminal than defensively. Joe Mazzulla, Jesus Christ, all they do is shoot threes. They have – Jason Tatum is considered a top, I want to say, 5 player in the league. I don't really know where they rank him, but he's
ballpark.
Should be considered top 5. And when they say top 5, if you ask people around who's the best scorer in the league, and you ask them to name 3-4 players, I bet you Jason Tatum comes up every single time. They have the floor spacing. They have Jaylen Brown, who's an elite slasher, can get buckets here and there. Why are you guys just shooting threes? And it's like terrible looks at that. And it's like they continue to do that, and they live and die by that. And it's like, I think that's hurting Tatum in terms of like in the fourth quarter when we do expect them to turn up. Obviously, it's easy to coach circles around like, okay, they're just going to shoot a 3. That's what they want. So let's try to force them inward, but not give them the layup. And now they're stuck. It makes Jason Tatum look a little worse than what he is. I don't think Jason Tatum is as good as what people say he is, but he's still a great player. But with Joe Mazzulla coaching him, bro, he's going to look a lot worse, and narrative might change for him. Who knows?
I think he was better under Brad Stevens than now.
And what was the idea? What was the idea of even bringing in Joe Mazzulla?
A replacement for Ime Udoka.
Ime got fired, or he didn't get fired. He was on.
No, but I mean, not in the case of that. Like, we know the reason why he was brought in, but what made
why? You're saying why him?
Yeah, why him?
I couldn't answer that, bro. I don't even remember what college team he was coaching. Do you guys remember?
Mizzou? I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it was Missouri, bro, but I don't remember. Give me
It
one
feels
second to
right.
look it up. I feel like it was. And if that is, that's criminal.
You want to know what's crazy though? The reason why I don't trust Joe Mazzulla, I just looked at his eyes for a prolonged period of time and I was like, bro, there's something about this man that looks so sketchy. Like he just he has his vibe is off. Like just looking at him, his mannerisms, his everything, it's not even like that's relevant to his job as a coach. It's totally irrelevant. I just looked at his vibe and I was like, bro, this man seems like he's sketchy. He's not the person who I want the hot potato in. Who he's not the person who I want holding the hot potato when things hit the fan. I don't know.
I agree. He's not, like I said, he doesn't make any good adjustments. I think he has a decent game plan going into the game. And then any adjustment any coach makes towards him, he kind of just be like, guys, just continue through the motion. You're getting the looks you want. It's gonna work. And then defensively, I don't know what he's doing defensively, bro. Because that should be the best defensive team.
Why does it feel like a lot of these coaches cannot make adjustments at all?
I think it's refusal.
I think my takeaway from that is, even though I like to call these coaches terrorists and stuff like that, I think the game is a lot more freelance and not really play based. It's more like just whatever offense, and it's kind of like vibey, just whatever. And there's no kind of rhythm to try to stop a player, so you kind of don't know what they're gonna do, which makes it hard to coach, if that makes sense. But at the same time, if you already know like teams are gonna run certain kinds of sets, like I said, Boston is predicated on 3-point shooting. They live and die by the 3-point shot. So it's kind of easy to coach against them. So it's like, that's why you see for 3 quarters, Boston might look like one of the best teams, like they could win the championship. Then the 4th quarter starts, the adjustments happen, and they just, I don't know, they just live and die like that Mike D'Antoni type system where it's going to work eventually. I think it's stupid, but it is what it is.
Yeah. We're going to go on to the next series, which is Cavs Magic, which I predicted to be a dogfight, and I was 100% correct. Right now, they're tied at 2-2, and I don't know who's coming out of this. But either way, I just hope it's the Cavs for their team's sake, because if they get knocked out of the first round, I think they got knocked out of the first round last year too, right?
Yeah.
If it happens twice in a row, D Mitch is gone. He's poof. The man's Houdini. He went to go get milk. Okay, he ain't coming back.
I think he's gone regardless.
I don't think so. I don't think, because it's always harder to leave when you're winning, unless you're LeBron in 2014. Like it's genuinely just hard to leave a what is more or less a winning team.
But are they a winning
I always believe that. I mean, what were they, like the 4th seed? Like, I think they're a pretty solid team. I think the Cavs are why you go for fit rather than star. Actually, no, that's more the Suns, but it also applies to the Cavs as well. I think that they went for the star and Donovan Mitchell, but Sexton fit a little bit more seamlessly.
That's a crazy statement. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know.
If you ask me if I want Donovan Mitchell or Colin Sexton, and you're trying to make an argument that Colin Sexton might fit better, I think you should be fired.
Kind of does fit a little bit better.
I don't care what kind of fit. You got to jam that puzzle in. If Donovan Mitchell versus Colin Sexton, bro, no, we're not. No.
I'm not saying he's a better player. I'm not.
I do agree with your point that I don't think Donovan Mitchell fits this team.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
And I think he hinders a lot of the players based off the way his rhythm is and just all of that. Just you could see the offense is not flowing properly. Darius Garland, I think, should be way better than what he is right now, but I think he's stunted because of Donovan Mitchell. I think because of the way I was going to get that. The way Donovan Mitchell plays, kind of just that ISO style rather than moving the ball, makes Evan Mobley and Jared Allen just kind of collapse in the paint together, which also clashes with all three of them. And it's ugly offense. It's very, very bad.
I don't know. What are your thoughts, Greg?
I haven't been watching that series. That's the one that I didn't pay attention to.
To be honest, we all didn't really. Bro, I haven't even seen highlights.
I want to give a shout out to Orlando, though, for sure, because I've seen highlights of the games. I saw little clips of the last game they just played, game 4. Yeah, like yesterday. Based off what I saw, obviously I saw when I tuned in, I only saw one quarter. It was the quarter that Orlando was going on the run. In terms of the whole entire playoffs, I would say Orlando is either second or third best defensive team in the whole playoffs. That's how good they've been defensively, and the key takeaway I've gotten from everything is the person that the narrative is going to change for them is Paolo. Paolo is going to start getting into certain talks because the way he's been playing these last 2 games.
Didn't he have like 31 last game?
Yeah, and it's like it's the way he's getting the 31 where it's like it's a dirty bucket, but it's like in the flow of the offense. So it's not like he's ball hogging or anything. It's just Orlando's running their schemes, but he's getting tough baskets, like good looks here and there, easy, simplifying the game. It's like it seems like he's like 3 or 4 years ahead of his scheduled plan of development. Like he's skipping steps and stuff like that. So I don't know. He's a person to look at to see maybe he could propel Orlando to.
I'd say the whole team has progressed a little bit ahead schedule to different degrees, but I feel like they're all Jalen Suggs defensively, Markel Fultz, Franz Wagner. Like I think he's definitely progressed as well. Like that whole, I think they're just the way that they do their interviews. I feel that OKC seems very fun and young. Mm-hmm. They already seem like vets whenever they do interviews, and they're just like, they're young, 100%. But they feel more mature,
like they've been there before. I agree, and
I wouldn't quite go there, but they're not they're not like super hyped after just one game. You know, a lot of people want that like Kobe mentality of it's just one game. But they don't act it at all. Yeah, I feel like this team actually kind of acts it.
100%. So Jonathan Isaac is the top 5 perimeter defender in the league. I want to just say that,
bro. Jonathan Isaac, I'm not going to lie. That man he's one of those few players where they were injured a lot early on in their career. Mm-hmm. He's proving his value now. Like 100%. Truthfully, he's proving his value now. Like 100%. He's kind of worth the injuries, unlike fucking Ben Simmons.
Damn.
But sorry about that. Got a little testy. You know, as the Ben Simmons defender, I can't defend him no more. But that's not what we're talking about. So I guess who do you think is gonna win this series? I should have done this for Cavs, but whatever. And for the other one. Because I think I want Cavs to win for the sake of their team. But if I had to, like, my money's on the line, I'm picking Orlando.
I think Orlando might have it just because they was able to switch the momentum, and I don't think Cleveland's able to snap and just get the momentum back.
Yeah. So we can go to the fun one. Bucks Pacers. Okay. Lots kind of happened. Damian Lillard strained his MCL. It's not torn, thankfully.
I thought it was his Achilles.
Wait, was it?
Yeah, wasn't it his Achilles?
I thought it was his MCL. I can look it up really quickly.
Well, they're playing right now. 76 Pacers, 69 Bucks.
Damian Lillard.
8:51 in the third quarter.
Damian Lillard injury.
He's out though. It don't even matter, to be honest. He's out.
Yeah.
He's not coming back. Giannis is not coming back either. Honestly,
Bro,
I think the Bucks are done.
Do you want to know what's crazy? Chris Middleton played his ass off. Oh. Why is it not saying? Ugh. I hate it when articles like has a whole bunch of fluff and they just don't get to the point. Like, I understand you have to make your money, but equally it's like, bro, if you're gonna give me all these words, at least just clearly state what you mean. But either way, Chris Middleton last game, like game 3, bro, he put up like a crazy amount of points, like 42 out of Chris Middleton, who is like a person who I've always talked down on Chris Middleton. I always talk down for him in the sense that like I feel that he is a person who people put in conversations he should not be put in. Like
really?
I feel like he's okay. He is okay. Like he feels like Tobias Harris at times to me. And I don't, yeah.
So that's a hot take.
I don't feel like it's a hot take though. He's a
what do you view Tobias Harris as?
I feel that Tobias Harris is a great forward who sometimes isn't put in the best position to optimize his abilities. I feel that like I've always felt that like it's not a matter of the player himself not being talented, rather than his situation doesn't allow for the best version of him to thrive. And I'm not, and I don't mean that in a slanderous way. You know, I'm not saying that to bring Chris Middleton down. I just don't, since the beginning, hell, even when, oh my God, Jabari Parker was on this team. Yeah, that was his name, right? Jabari Parker. It's been a while. But like, even when they had that little like young big 3, I always felt that it was clunky. I feel that they've learned how to play through that clunkiness and they figured it out a bit more, but I'm not going to pretend like it's not clunky. Like it's weird sometimes. Like their relationship at times on the court. I'm not talking about personal, just on the court. It feels weird at times. Not that it doesn't work, not it's not effective. It's just I feel like if we had to give them like a synchrony, like a synchronization, like a team synchronization rating, like I feel like Chris Middleton would get like a 70. He's passing. He's good. Yeah, he's passing class good, but he's not excelling. I don't know. That's just how I feel. But after seeing that performance, I feel that the Pacers are really in it. Like they're just in it to win it.
Pacers are taking the series, man.
Yeah,
it was already a bad matchup in terms of I don't think Milwaukee wanted to see Indiana because they just have their number. It's just a better matchup for Indiana. And then when you add all the injuries on top of it, I don't see a way that Milwaukee gets through, to be honest. I don't see it.
It's weird to me. It's very odd. Very odd.
Shouts out to the Pacers.
Yeah. And you want to know what's crazy? I don't think Tyrese Halliburton is playing that crazy, if I'm not mistaken. Is he playing good? I don't think he has been.
Here's the series. Here's the thing with Tyrese. In terms of like, if you look at the stats, the answer is no. But if you're watching him play, he's not scoring crazy, which he's never been a crazy scorer. He just had a stretch where he was scoring good. So that kind of became his expectation. But he's never been that kind of a player anyways. But in terms of like him like making reads, like doing the right plays and stuff like that, he's been great. Very, very great. Shooting efficiently up from the field and stuff like that. Always making the right play. In terms of like point guard that's making the right play, I'd say he's number 1 in the whole NBA right now out of everybody in terms of making the right reads. But in terms of like, we live in an era where we just look at the box score and we just look at efficiency and be like, compare like, okay, this person's averaging this person's averaging that. Oh, he's not good at this. He's not as good at that. If you do it like that, then no, he's not doing great. But if you are like actively watching this series, you can see he's literally dominating this series. I would say he's the best player in this series so far. But
Really?
the stats won't show it that way.
Well, why do you think that is?
Well, so like Tyrese is like his value, like Tyrese is a great passer, but Tyrese is also a great floor general. So he understands like rhythm, spacing, pace, all that kinds of stuff. So like he knows when to attack, like speed it up, when to slow it down. Okay, Siakam, you need a touch. Okay, Benedict, you haven't touched the ball in a while, so let me get you a couple looks here and there. So it's like he keeps his whole team in rhythm while keeping the pace up because they don't, Lord knows they don't play defense, so they just kind of try to play
they're the
fast
fastest team in the league
to make Milwaukee make mistakes because you got to keep up with the speed that they're playing at, which causes turnovers. So then they could keep running and keep. That's kind of the strategy that they have. So in terms of like usually when you play with that kind of pace that they're playing, you get a lot of turnovers. But Tyrese is not getting turnovers, making the right read. So it's like let's say he's pushing the pace and then he passes it and then somebody else passes it and then they get the open three. Tyrese is not getting the assist for that, but in reality, he created that play. You see what I'm saying? So those kinds of stuff happen where it's like he's not getting the stats, but he's directly impacting everything that's happening for Indiana for sure.
All right. So pretty much, first off, the reason why like I made a weird face while you were talking, Stan, it wasn't because you were saying anything wrong. For a split second, I zoned out and I was like, "Are we talking about like the Kings again?" Like what? It felt like like I felt like that those used to be the same exact points we used to talk about the Kings with, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. But yeah, pretty much Pacers are winning this. Knicks Sixers. You know, I was talking to my brother about the series beforehand, and he's like a very concerned Knicks fan when this before this series started, and he was saying his main reason was that he was scared of Joel Embiid, and I pointed out that they have Isaiah Hardenstein and Mitchell Robinson. They're not going to stop him, but they will be able to slow him down a considerable amount. And also, he's injured. He's coming off an injury. Like those two things combined, I think that they will be able to stop them. Like they'll be able to slow down Embiid enough to where he has to depend on his teammates. And by him depending on his teammates, if you're able to stop Maxey, bro, you pretty much won this series. And yeah, they've been able to slow down Maxey. Like Joel Embiid isn't able to dominate the way he normally does because he's not healthy. I don't care what you say. This man is not a healthy Embiid. And honestly, bro, we need to have a conversation about Joel, like medical malpractice in the NBA. I understand it's his body. He can do what he wants. But bro, this man is not healthy. And he's just, he's going to be one of those dudes on like Sports Center, like no respect and no disrespect to like Kenny Smith, but like bro, like you can see how the game has taken a toll on their bodies, and Joel Embiid might be one of them. As much as we make fun of him and call him unhealthy and this, that, and the third, I mean, I can't say anything negative about him. He may not be having the best of possible games, but like, bro, he's sacrificing everything right now. I don't know, but either way, I think that the Knicks have been doing a great job on defense. I think that bro, they are dogs. That Villanova team, that little reunion is the best thing to ever happen for the Knicks. Some people will be like, "Oh, OG Anunoby, he's a great piece and a great addition. He helps your team." But I think that foundation of that three-headed defensive guard that is like anchors that whole team's identity. You know, like this is like teams like the Knicks is why I always am like fit. Because bro, it works. Like it just works, you know? Like this is what that 2014 Phoenix Suns teams was supposed to be, not in terms of defense, but in terms of like the success that they had. Because like, bro, the idea of a 3-guard rotation works. Like even though you can argue like whether some of these players are guards or not, whatever, but like that core idea works, and this Knicks team is proving it.
I don't think it works.
I think it works.
I think you have Jalen Brunson, who is a guard, undersized guard. Then you have Dante DiVincenzo, who's a shooting guard, 6'4", 6'5"-ish, but he's a wing player, plays small forward, plays shooting guard, could guard a lot of, very versatile. Then you got Josh Hart, who literally plays almost like a 3-4 type player. He's still like same height, like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
But he plays bigger than what he is. Like
because I view him as a guard. Like no, I know he's not. Saying.
In terms of this case, you are correct. But in terms of like, I don't want what you're saying to get like the 3-guard lineup is like this, because that's not the case. They have 2 players that are the guards that you're referring to that are playing way bigger than what they are. And most times that is not the case. Usually they are undersized. And that could really hinder you, especially when you have somebody like Jalen Brunson, who is a defensive liability. That's just where I stand on that.
But I feel that me personally, I feel like Jalen Brunson is okay on defense. I feel like he's just okay. Or maybe it's just the Knicks defense as a whole covering it. And so I'm just not viewing him as this huge liability. But when I watch him, he seems okay.
No, yeah. So when you have a team that has like good core defense and they're just good team defense all around, you can be a liability, but as long as you buy in defensively and do your role, you're not going to be exposed. That's almost the same thing that happened to Stephen Curry. I've heard that Stephen Curry has become this 2-way player and stuff. That's bullshit. That's not the truth. No, he is a defensive liability because the Atlanta Hawks is a defensive liability. They just can't play defense over them at all. So Trae Young, it gets heightened, so now it really looks bad. Jalen Brunson, I think if you put him on any other team that don't have defense, those things get exposed. But since he's on a team that do switch, they play great team defense, they rotate, and you have Tom Thibodeau as a coach, who's a defensive coach. Yeah, so you're not going to be able to see he is a defensive. But to sit there and say like, okay, Jalen Brunson, who's 6 foot and not very, he has good footwork, but I wouldn't say he's quick. He's not explosive. He's strong, but it's like realistically, if you was to ISO him the whole game, I don't think he'd be able to hold his own against a solid scorer, not even a great elite scorer, a solid scorer. I think would have his day on him. But with the team defense that they have, the sets that they do run, and they just wherever he's lacking, they pick up for him. So it's great team defense. So it looks a lot better than what it is.
What are your thoughts, Greg?
I agree with Stan with everything he said. I don't really have much to add on that one because I want to get straight to hating Darvin Ham. Like I'll go to the East. I just want to hate on Darvin Ham for like 30 minutes.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
Then. All right, so let's just go. So let's just start bottom up, just so that we can hate on Darvin.
God, this man is garbage.
Man,
yo, when I was watching, I've been sending y'all the videos on the Lakers defense with that one guy who was on TikTok. And it just shows you how bad they are at switching. When it comes to switching, when it comes to guarding screens.
Actually, can I pull it up right now? I'm gonna see if I can pull it up.
I don't know if like YouTube will give us a copyright or anything like that, but
that is true.
Yeah, his TikTok account is awful coaching. I think that's what it is. And he basically he was breaking down how bad the Lakers are at guarding screens, rotating. I mean, LeBron doesn't even look good either. We all talking about like we done with the 90s. We done with the 90s. I'm like, hey man, LeBron's not looking good in this era right now on defense. And the only thing I give him is like, the man's close to 40, but
yeah.
So that's the only. But even AD isn't looking good, and I'm wondering like what is Darvin Ham like preparing these guys for?
Vibes.
Because AD will just let Jokic just basically walk up to a mid-range shot like it's nothing. So it makes me wonder like what is Darvin Ham doing in these like locker room talks?
Hey, right. I know exactly what they're doing when they're breaking these chants. All right, 1, 2, 3, Cancun.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate just real quick, even though I'm on the terrorist. He's a terrorist, just to be fair. I don't want to seem one-sided, even though I am one-sided. But I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter talk about this series and just this and that, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if people don't realize this, but Denver is a really good team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like I don't – it seems like people are forgetting about that because they have LeBron James. They're supposed to have a chance. Realistically, going into this, I don't think anybody in the world saw this series going past 5 games. Most of us thought they was going to get swept, and then maybe they might win a game, which is what's happening right now. They for sure losing next game in Denver, 100%. So the weird thing that like the Lakers were supposed to have a solution is very weird to me. I don't understand it because not only is Denver significantly better than the Lakers, I think Denver's significantly better than every other team in the league, and like they gap everybody, and it's like that serious. And they play like an exceptional offense where it's like you're talking about the screen, so it's like we watched Jamal Murray and Jokic cook everybody last year with the 2-man game. We watched that, and they're like, "Yo, how are we gonna stop this shit?" I watched teams in the beginning of this year. It looked like they went into the lab, and somebody was coaching because coach got a coach. And it looked like they found a solution to try to stop the Jamal Murray, the 2-man game. And what I've noticed Mike Malone do, this is why I say coaching is important. What he's done now is when they do their little 2-man game, Jokic is in the short roll playing 4-on-3 basketball. And what he's doing is as soon as somebody comes up, Aaron Gordon is now, it's like a 3-man game now. So now Aaron Gordon is the first. It's a lob or it's a dunk, and he's angling his cuts perfectly. And it's like if you guard Aaron Gordon, what happens is now you have Jokic, who's the best passer in the league at reading and everything. Now you have 2 players in the corner, that's Caldwell Pope and Michael Porter Jr., who shoot elite shooting. So it's kind of like you pick your poison. How do you want it? Do you want the lob? Are you going to guard me one-on-one? Or do you want the open threes? So it's like, realistically, I don't know how you have a solution to that. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. But
you don't.
To go back onto Darvin Ham, Jesus Christ, at least try something. My God. When I tell you, he just be in there just playing. Let me not get crazy, but like his hands just be in his pocket. You guys know what I was trying to say there. Just hands in the pocket, not doing shit, just watching.
Digging for change.
That's it, bro.
Yeah, he digging for change. Like he
ain't nothing on the clipboard.
How you gonna get parking?
I'm sitting here like, yo, it's like everybody's trying to say like, why can't they stop the Nuggets? I think that's weird. I just went on that rant how the Nuggets have perfect offense, and it's like realistically, I don't know how anybody's gonna stop what they're doing to the Lakers. I think they're gonna go through the whole entire West and win the championship again, doing the same thing to everybody. I don't know. Maybe Minnesota might put a fight because they do have the personnel to try to stop it. That's why I'm excited for that series. But aside from Minnesota, I feel like they will dog walk everyone who tries to do anything with that. And my issue go ahead.
And after that, there's nothing you can say about Jokic. There's nothing you can say about him.
Absolutely.
You see that, you just don't watch ball.
100%. My biggest thing with Darvin Ham is the goddamn offense. Good Lord. I understand you're playing against they have Denver Nuggets have the best player in the NBA. Hands down. Jokic is number 1. There's crystal clear. You can say whoever you want to compete with him, he is the best player. Done. Has perfect offense. He could score on anybody, and if you try to double, he's finding every pass. Cool. Mm-hmm. Then you have Jamal Murray, who literally is a ticking time bomb that could just go for a random 50-point game. He's that good. That's just what it is. So it's like, and they have elite shooting, great defending. That's just what it is. But when you look at the Lakers offense, I watched game 1. D'Lo got the blame. Austin Reeves got the blame. Who else did they blame? They didn't blame Anthony Davis because he played good in that game, even though he didn't shoot for the fourth quarter, which that's coaching. But I watched the Lakers play good for 3 quarters. They were up 10, and then Denver just walked them up, played it slow, chipped at the lead little by little, and next thing you know, Lakers stopped scoring and Denver kept scoring. And I'm watching them, and I'm like, I'm just watching, trying to see what he's gonna do, what kind of adjustments. Is he gonna call timeout? It's like he doesn't know when to call timeout. And when he does call timeout, he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know. I would love to get it inside, or just, you know how they do the little inside tracks, or where you could hear what they're saying. Mm-hmm. I would love if they do that for game 5, so we could hear what Darvin Ham is saying in the middle of a timeout. I would love that. I feel like the NBA is protecting this man, because ain't no way. Because I truly want to know what, because I've seen clips of them in a timeout, and like he's drawing something and talking to them, and I see a fan in the background staring at it in confusion, like, what the fuck is he saying? And I understand it's NBA players, and maybe that kid doesn't understand NBA terms. I don't think that was the case. I think he was writing bullshit on that. And I've seen, like, bro, last game, they was in the middle of a timeout in a clutch game. D'Angelo Russell's on his phone. I don't know if y'all seen that. That was crazy.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was deloading up on his IG, nigga.
They came for D'Lo for that. I don't think it was last game. I think it was game 3, actually. I don't remember. But it happened. Matter. He was on his phone, checked out. He didn't want to hear nothing that Darvin Ham had to say or whatever. They was in the huddle. He was literally on the bench on his phone on like Twitter or something. And they came for D'Angelo Russell. Like, how you guys 0 points, shot terrible, you're not playing defense, and you're on your phone. Shame on you, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I agree. But at the same time, we are not in them huddles. I know he's talking some bullshit, some hot bullshit in there, bro. And he's like, my legs is tired, bro. I'm not trying to listen to what this man got to say, for sure. Because, like, why? I think when you see teams like, okay, D'Lo played bad in game 1. They came for him. D'Lo played great in game 2. I want to hear somebody say that he did not play good in game 2. He had 6 threes in the first half. Played great. I don't care what he did in the second half. He did his job. But 6 threes is 18 points. I'm not even including what else he did. You're telling me there's a world where D'Angelo Russell gives you 18 points and that's not enough? You want more? That sounds crazy to me. So,
and also AD had a good performance that game too.
Exactly. Went off, killing them. Okay, so you have D'Angelo Russell going off, Anthony Davis going off, and LeBron doing his LeBron things. They're up 20. Halftime happens. At halftime, I made a joke with my brother. I said, all right, so Denver's about to come up with some adjustments. Let's see how Darvin Ham's about to stand there and not do shit and watch this shit happen and fuck this shit up. That's what I said as a joke. They're up 20. I know it's going to happen. Let's see how he does it. I watched it happen. Nuggets came out hot. Started, chipping at the league. They're not scoring. Now, all I see is the only thing I saw from the Lakers in the second half was LeBron James trying to will his team like he was on that shit Cavs team back in the day. LeBron is too old to be doing that shit. And I've seen everyone try to crucify him for him missing that last shot where he pushed off and missed the open 3. And I'm like, you guys are going to act like he didn't hit like the previous 8 shots for the Lakers to even keep him in this range. It's kind of crazy to me. I do. If you are LeBron James and you are considering yourself the GOAT, you do have to hit that shot. I do agree. I'm not giving him a pass. That's not what I'm trying to do. But to sit there and say he's not this, he's not that. You feel me? To sit there and say all that because he missed that one shot, I think that's crazy. We seen Michael Jordan, we seen Kobe Bryant, any person's name that came up, we seen them miss shots. Okay, let's not try to act like they don't miss. Okay, to say LeBron didn't show up because he missed that shot is crazy, delusional. Please just watch the game and shut up.
It's a box score take.
Please. Those takes is what's ruining the game. But anyways, back to what I was saying. It's like D'Lo scored 6 threes in the first half. Anthony Davis has it rolling. I'm watching the third quarter. Denver made some defensive adjustments where it's like, okay, now Anthony Davis is not getting the looks he's getting. I didn't see D'Lo get the ball at all. They stopped doing the pick and roll that he was doing because it looked like LeBron, AD pick and roll. Denver had no answer to that at all. They didn't do that shit for the whole second half. I'm like, okay,
which
so
is crazy.
You're going away from what was working for you, but okay, to each his own. I'm watching them. They're getting shot clock violations. They're getting turnovers. Now all of the motion offense they was playing, now it seems like it's just isolation. They're running the clock and trying to just get a shot at the last second. They're missing. And it's like, and Denver's scoring on the other side. So I'm sitting here like, all right, so he called timeout. All right, let's see how they change. Nope, they're playing exactly the same. Oh, interesting. He probably called timeout because LeBron is tired. All right, that makes sense. He's old. I get it. 3 minutes pass. Denver's on an 8-7-0 run again. Timeout again. I said, all right. This is not fatigue. You just called a timeout for LeBron, so this one's not fatigue. You got to coach this one. All right, let's see what they're about to do. All right, still the same shit. All right, another 7-0 lead. Cool. Calls another timeout. Okay, goddamn, this is 3 timeouts in like 2 minutes. I don't think that's not good. You wasting timeouts now. Same thing. Denver scoring a run again. It's just like, how does Denver keep going on runs when you're calling the timeout, trying to stop them? That blew my mind. I was like, Jesus Christ, he's not doing shit. And it's like, Jamal Murray has not had a good game in this series yet.
He's hit the clutch shot, but
he made a buzzer beater, but in that game, he went like 6 of 25 in that game. So he has not played one game where it's like, oh, he played great. And the fact that he has not played great, I know you guys seen the little stat that shows how many minutes the Lakers are up and how many minutes Denver's up. Mm-hmm. If you didn't see it, it was like 141 to like 41 or something like that.
It's nasty. It's
disgusting.
Really
so
nasty work.
Denver's literally winning at the end of the games. That's it. It's like they're winning fourth quarters. That's it. So it's like if you are continuously up for 3 quarters and you keep losing, oh man, first of all, the fact that they got swept last year to this team and Crazy. He still has his job, that's nasty work. Okay, cool, whatever. Then in the season, they continue to get swept by Denver in the regular season. Still has his job. Okay, all right, cool. If Darvin Ham has a job by the end of the summer, bro, people who are Laker fans should go riot. Storm the same way they storm the Capitol, go storm the Staples Center, bro. Get in there, start tearing shit down. They deserve to riot, bro.
Hey,
and I think the police.
We gotta bring back Vogel. We gotta bring back Vogel.
That's another terrorist. We're gonna get on that. Don't worry. I think I'm done with my Lakers rant. I'm starting to sweat. I don't think I have anything else to say. If you guys want to continue on that, the Lakers are just they're not a good team. They snuck into the playoffs. I don't know why we expected them to do this or that. It's weird to me.
Here's the thing though.
Is Braun's realistic last chance of winning a finals.
I guess.
Then it's done. It's done.
He should retire.
You gotta play with Bronny first.
Why?
It's cool.
I saw a funny post that said that Denver should draft Bronny and not sign LeBron James. That's the most pettiest thing I ever seen in my life, bro. And I'm here for it. That is funny as shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That was funny.
If they have their draft pick, it might be worth it.
Just to be spiteful, bro. That shit's funny as fuck. I was like, that is so
we don't need you.
And I love it, bro. That is funny.
But honest to God, though, I don't feel, this is one of those teams where I don't feel like I'm being a delusional LeBron fan when I say this. I don't feel like this team is truthfully that bad. Like this is a team that could actually win. Like given the right seating, and given the right position, I really do. I feel like that about every team in the West, 1 through 8, to be honest. But it's especially true for the Lakers.
No, yeah, 100%.
I feel like it's especially true for the Lakers. Like their record does not reflect how good this team truthfully is. Because
of
are
what?
they consistent? Huh?
What's the reasoning they're not reflective of that? It's one reason. Darvin Ham. That's it. If they gave me a 10-day contract to go coach the Lakers, I guarantee you I'll do double whatever Darvin Ham is doing.
Half the price.
I'll do it for free just so I could go to the games. The fuck? Man's just sitting there with his hands in his pockets, bro. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
I feel like Darvin Ham be thinking about his dinner at like the fourth quarter. Just like, you know,
Nah,
you ever seen that
he's for
episode
sure
of Chowder where he's
daydreaming.
thinking? Go. And you want to know what's crazy? We didn't even bring up the fact. Remember when LeBron got mad about that challenge that he didn't do?
Yeah.
That's a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Because it's one thing to see the clip of LeBron flipping out. When you look at the challenge, you're just like,
he don't be coaching. And want me to make you guys laugh? In that game, what was it, game 2 where Jamal Murray hit that buzzer beater?
mm-hmm.
Funniest part about it, bro, I looked at it and I'm like, that can't be true. The Lakers had their challenge and 2 timeouts left. So that means 2 timeouts was not used and they didn't challenge shit. I couldn't believe it. And for context, for people who don't really watch hoops and stuff, when you hit the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter, they take your timeouts and you only have 2 timeouts left. So that means for the last 3 minutes of the game, they took whatever timeouts he had, or I watched them waste a lot of them in the fourth quarter in the beginning, not doing shit anyway. So it might have went down to 2 anyways, but he had 2 timeouts and a challenge, and then you use none of that shit and watch Jamal Murray hit a buzzer beater in his mouth. Hands in his pocket.
You know the worst part is didn't call a timeout in that buzzer beater situation. Like I feel like that's just like common basketball knowledge. You know what I mean?
And you want to know what's crazy? AD didn't even play that bad of defense. Like that's like the crazy part to me. His defense, did he rotate in time? Like
AD did everything he was supposed to do.
Yeah, like he had his hand up, and there wasn't that much space. Like
it was a bad match.
It was a tough shot.
Once the switch happened, they should have sent another person to go help him. That's what a real coach would have did, because Anthony Davis guarding Jamal Murray on the last shot,
one-on-one.
If you really believe that, like I'm watching Jamal Murray go this way and all the other players go that way, and he's really isolating him, going downhill to the rim, I knew for sure he was not doing a lip. I was like, he's about to step back on him, and once he hits a step back, he's going to get the separation, and he's going to rise up and shoot it. As soon as LeBron missed that shot, I knew the game was over. I knew it was over. I was like, Jamal's having a bad game, but he's about to end them. I watched Jokic clear out, and he's like, Jamal, you got this shit. I said, damn it, it's 2-0. They won. It's not going to OT. He's hitting this shit. He's going to hit a step back on Davis. Davis is going to play. It's going to look like it's a good contest, but to people who hoop and realize shooting, it's like, bro, all you need is a little space to see where you are and shoot it, and you're good. I don't care what the closeout looks like. You're good. It's over with. I was like, he's not quick enough to guard Jamal. And in the mid-range at that, so I was like, yeah, this is bad coaching. I don't know. First of all, I don't know why you allowed for Davis to switch on that. That was crazy to me. Jokic was like at the half-court line, and you just switch. Why? For what? I don't. We got to talk about another series, bro. I'm getting a headache.
Rods in Minnesota.
Actually, you want to know what? Let's give Stanley a layup. Let's go around a bit.
I'm ready to go wherever you want to go.
Yeah. Let's talk about Thunder Pelicans. This was a very expected sweep, to be honest. Like, bro, they have no Zion. CJ McCollum is barbecue chicken. BI is some nice side coleslaw. Like, I don't see this team even winning a game. And this is the most delusional person talking right now. I have nothing but pure delusion in my body, and I still don't see them winning a single game. But I want to bring up the Thunder to say this, bro. I don't care what the record says, which team is like what, bro. We have 3 kings in the NBA right now. This is going to be the most insane second round ever. This was already a great first round, to be honest. Even though some of these teams are getting blown out here, this, that, and the third. But like when you watch these games, you're like, oh shit, this is like super entertaining.
I think this series we are seeing Brandon Ingram get exposed again. Because I think I don't know if you guys remember in the summer when we were talking about Team USA, how Brandon Ingram is just in his mind he thinks he's that guy, but he doesn't elevate to that play ever. It seems like he's always short. Even though we could see all the talent in the world that Brandon Ingram is what he thinks he is, he just never shows it. And I think this series he's been very subpar. Granted, they have great defenders on him, but like if I view you as an elite scorer, I don't think any single defender should be able to just completely take you out of series. I think that's criminal. And that's what's been happening. So I don't know. New Orleans need to, go back to the drawing board. I think it's time to get Brandon Ingram out of there, to be honest. I don't say blow it up. I think they have a very good core. I say instead of, because CJ is getting older. Can't deny that. Brandon Ingram's not the player he thinks he is. So I say go get a scoring point guard that could facilitate and get rid of Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. And I think that fits their problem. They have multiple wing players that are very versatile, play defense, play in the flow of the offense. And you have a healthy Zion. I think their team is very, very good. I think if Zion is playing in that series, my hot take is they beat OKC.
But honestly, we were talking about OKC. Low key, I feel that this team, I don't think that they can win the championship, but I feel that they're seeded in such a specific way to where they can get to the conference finals like fairly easily. Like I do see it because, well, okay, maybe not fairly easily, but it's not a non-zero chance. Because I feel that when the Mavericks, actually no, let me not. When the next series concludes, it could be the Clippers or the Mavericks. Truthfully, they have a fighting chance. I'd say it's 50-50, and really, I feel like they can win that.
I say 70-30 to whoever, whether it's the Clippers or the Mavericks, whoever gets through. I think they have a 70% chance to beat to OKC. I'm not a strong believer in. I think they have a good core. I think they're a young team that's going to develop and to be better. But in terms of right now, even based off what I'm seeing in this series that they're playing in against the Pelicans, it is a 3-0 lead. But if you're watching the game, they're not blowing the Pelicans out the water. And it's like we just said, Zion is not playing. Brandon Ingram is underperforming. CJ McCollum is wishy-washy. So he has good games. He has good moments, bad moments. It's wishy-washy. Sometimes it looks good. Sometimes it's kind of like, all right, CJ, you didn't have to take that shot. Or you're kind of forcing it and this and that, whatever. But I think if Brandon Ingram plays as half of the player that they should be playing at, I think it's a 2-2 series. But since he's not, it's 3-0 or whatever it is right now.
3-0.
And then they're probably going to get swept. They haven't looked great. I think they have things that you look at that's like, okay, that's good. This is good. This is good. This is good. But collectively, they don't look amazing. I don't see a world where they could beat Denver if they do make it to the conference finals, or even Minnesota for that case. In terms of them, like against Luka, the way I view OKC is if they have the best player in the series, they have a fighting chance. If they played Dallas, they don't have the best player in the league in the series. Luka's clear over anybody on OKC. Now that Kawhi is out, maybe the Clippers versus OKC, maybe OKC could beat them. I think if Kawhi was healthy, I think that's over with. I don't trust the Clippers. I'm a strong believer in this Clippers curse. They already got Kawhi. Like I said, it was going to happen. So I think Dallas, even though Dallas just lost earlier, which looks bad, but Clippers are up 2-1. I'm low-key switching series. My bad. I don't know if we were supposed to do that or not.
No, we can do it. There's not much to talk about
because they're kind of intertwined and stuff. So I'm watching the series. I think the Clippers are playing. I think the Clippers are not playing great, but Ty Lue is out coaching Jason Kidd. That's what I see from this. It looks like Dallas could go as far as what Luka could take them.
And Kyrie
has 100. See, the reason why I didn't say Kyrie is because Luka has a hero complex where it's like he feels like he has to do everything himself, even though he has a team perfectly constructed for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I watch him, and it's like he's literally shooting his team out the game. Or like there's times like literally today, if you watched the game earlier today, Kyrie 100% played a better game than Luka.
Bro, that 100%. Like triple.
Yes, the layup. Yes, 100% played a better game. Kyrie is hot. And in the middle of Kyrie being hot, I watched Luka take a step back shot that was damn near at the logo and bricked it. That's deflating, bro. Like Kyrie you were down 10. Kyrie went on a run by himself. It's a tie ball game, and now it's time for Kyrie to cook and take us home. And because you have this hero complex, you took the step back, bricked it. They came down and made a 3. Now you're down 3. Things like that, it's like it makes it hard for me to be like, okay, you're gonna beat the Clippers, because if that's what you're doing, Ty Lue's gonna outcoach you. That's what he wants you to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think Luka should be the best player in the world. I think he should be better than Jokic, but his decision making is what's holding him back. The way he plays his game, he's not making the right reads. I think when they say Luka is a great passer or he's just as good as passer as Jokic, I think that is true, but he's not as willing. The thing with Luka is gonna die on the hill that he's gonna try to score. And if you do somehow trap him where he cannot get the shot off, he is so gifted that he's gonna make the most spectacular pass and get the assist off of it. That's not good basketball. That's bad basketball. Players are out of rhythm. That's why we see players like Tim Hardaway Jr. or Josh Green, Maxi Kleber, whoever the shooter is on the team that's supposed to be spacing the floor, they're out of rhythm, and this is why they miss open shots, because Luka does not keep them in the flow of the offense. So I think that is hurting them. I don't know if people see that and they don't want to say that to him, or I don't know what it is, because what you got to protect your star player and you gotta be soft with him and not tell him the truth and stuff these days. So it's kind of, I don't know if that's hurting them or not, but somebody has to say something to Luka, because he's hurting the team. He's keeping them up and he's keeping them down at the same time. So I don't know who would come out this series, to be honest.
Me personally, I have the Dallas Mavericks coming out of this. In Luka, we trust. I've been saying this the whole time, and I'll say it one more time. In Luka, we trust.
Mm-hmm.
I think that them playing together is truthfully the best I think it's one of the best backcourts of all time. And I don't feel like I'm crazy in saying it or even acknowledging it. I really don't. I just think that even though Harden played like what is essentially a perfect game, like he played damn near a perfect game, at least for like the first half. I know that he was like, I think he like only missed like 1 or 2 shots for the first half. And then I don't know how he finished, but he played phenomenal. this whole team, like this whole Clippers team plays great. I just don't trust them. And it's not even a curse thing. I just don't trust them. I don't.
It's the players.
I don't have a. No. You want to know what's crazy? I feel like during the season they proved that they can be trusted, but it's something off. Like it's truthfully something off. Like all the faith and confidence and like white knighting that I did during the season is just gone now. Like shit hit the fan, and I'm just like, I have to actually play out these hypotheticals, and I'm just like, I want the Dallas Mavericks to win. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm very irrational and being very delulu right now. So, hey. But I think to your point that Luka is holding him back, I think the reason why is early on in his career and how he was brought in the NBA. I mean, it's one thing to... I think it goes back, oddly enough, to all those interviews he did early on in his career where it's like, oh, scoring in the NBA is easy. I feel that he took it a little bit too far, and now he's thinking, oh, yeah, scoring in the NBA is easy, so therefore I can get whatever I want at any moment, and it'll just go in. Because he's that, as you said, he's that gifted to where he's bailed himself out of bullshit multiple times. It's crazy. Luka's the only person I've seen to put himself in a bad situation and then like 2 or 3 plays down the road, bail himself out of it and then erase it. Like he pretty much erased it, and now the momentum's in his favor. Like he's that different. There's a lot of players who are different. Luka Doncic is different. And also he has a co-star in Kyrie, which is one of the best guards in the league, who's just, bro, this is a side note. Was Kyrie even on like anyone's like top 10 point guards list? I feel like...
Are you talking about for us or like in general?
No, in general. I feel like whenever I heard back these people's lists, he wasn't there.
He always gets left off. It's always been like that.
I feel like when he was in Cleveland, he was like very undeniable. But ever since, even arguably fucking Brooklyn,
once he started doing that team destroying BS that he was on, like that put like a lot of people off on him. You know what I mean? So I think they still hold that against him when they do their...
Yeah. Because I feel that honestly, he's figured out the formula in Dallas, and that's why it's worked so well. Like he's finally accepted that I'm not the star, but that doesn't mean I'm Robin either. And I think for a long time in the NBA, we've had a 1A, 1B when it's like 1-1, 1-2 or whatever. Like, what I'm basically trying to say is they're co-stars. They're not like different tiers of star. That's my...
I don't think Kyrie ever had that issue. I think that is a narrative that they created to put against him. I think, and when you look at when he was in Boston, because that's what everybody goes to try to say, oh, he was a bad leader. He can't be a number one guy on a good team. Can't lead a team to a championship and this and that, blah, blah, blah. The way that team was constructed, when you have to think about it, they was just in the conference finals. Literally. They Cleveland Cavaliers beat them in the conference finals when they had that great year by Isaiah Thomas. Great year. Messed up his hip, and he got traded. Kyrie got traded there, and then they signed Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving, or Gordon Hayward got injured in the first game. Gone.
Crazy.
He's not there. Unfortunate. Kyrie in and out the lineup, but he was the obviously best player on the team that got him to the first seed, I think there was. I don't remember. Very high seed.
It was high.
Gets injured in the playoffs. You have a young player in Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Terry Rozier, lead them to the conference finals. Now they have an ego, this and that. Like, oh, we don't need them. We did this ourselves. Blah blah blah. We played 7 games against LeBron James. We're like that. We this and that. Offseason happens. Gordon Hayward is back. He's getting paid. Was it $30 million a year? They signed him that year to be the secondary star for Kyrie Irving. It's not ridiculous. Gordon Hayward was like that. Unfortunately, he got hurt and he no longer was like that, but whatever, it happens. But it's like now, it's kind of like, who is the best player now? Kyrie feels he's the best player. Jason Tatum feels like he's the best player. I don't think there's anything wrong with that because they're supposed to. Jason Tatum should feel like he's the best player, 100%. Jaylen Brown should feel like he's one of the best players. Kyrie should feel like he's one of the best players. Gordon Hayward should feel like he's one of the best players. That's when the coach is supposed to coach. And I don't think they did that. I think they kind of just had their sets and let them play their game. And now they started clashing and this and that. And that's when they had the terrible season where they lost to the Bucks, the bubble year or whatever year that was, and this and that. It looked bad. Kyrie's getting painted. Oh, he's a bad teammate. This and that, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, if we just keep it basketball, you cannot name me 5 point guards at any point in Kyrie's career that were better than him. You cannot. That's just what it is. I keep seeing people like Dame is better than Kyrie. Dame was at no point was better than Kyrie Irving. I don't know why that's been a narrative. It's weird. We need to stop. But we just paint this picture that Kyrie's this and that. Then he goes to Brooklyn, has a great season in Brooklyn. So great that we start to forget what he did in Boston.
Yeah.
COVID happens, and he does not get vaccinated and does not play. Now he's like, oh, he's trying to save the world and make these political statements that he don't want to be down for his team. Another narrative. Kyrie's a bad teammate because all he cares about is this or this and that. And he doesn't care about actually helping his teammates and this and that. Crazy narrative, but whatever. They're running with it, this and that. Oh, he's a bad person. Cool. The next year, he gets hurt. Doesn't play. Oh, he doesn't want to play this and that, blah, blah. They keep making up things to try to put him down and this and that. But at the end of the day, you cannot name me a time where Kyrie was playing and you're like, oh, he's not playing good. You can't. That's just what it is. He's always looked good everywhere he's gone. In Brooklyn, he looked good. Came to Dallas. I don't care what nobody says. They didn't make the playoffs, but you cannot say Kyrie did not play good because he played good, 100%. They gave you that little small sample size, like, okay, maybe Luka and Kyrie could work. I kind of see flashes in this and that. They sat him down and lost on purpose so they could have a good pick, and they did not make the playoffs. Cool, whatever. Look who they drafted in the. It worked. They got what's his face, the rookie. I can't remember his name.
Neither can I.
I can't remember his name, but he's literally what they needed. They made some trades here and there. Now their team is complete, and they look good. So Kyrie's always been a good player, but we just use these narratives to try to put him down lower than what he is. And I hate it. They did. You guys are Heat fans. You guys know where I'm going with this. They did the same thing with Jimmy Butler. He's a bad teammate. Cancer in the locker room. This and that. Mm-hmm. Oh, you should not get him. What happened when he went to the Heat? Oh, Jimmy's a great locker room guy. Perfect fit. He's the dog. Look how he's leading the Heat. Oh, he's so great. This and that. To the point where now you're seeing old teammates that Jimmy Butler had speaking out saying, I don't know where that narrative came from. It's weird. How many players have we ever heard say Kyrie Irving is not a good teammate?
Slim to none.
I've yet to heard somebody say, oh, I don't like playing with Kyrie. He's this or he's that or he's weird. People say Kyrie is weird in terms of personality because he's to himself. And he tries to be like Zen and stuff. Like he has like his little candles he'd be lighting and stuff. But like aside from that, they don't really say, oh, I don't like him or this and that. They just be like, Kyrie's Kyrie. He has his opinions.
If Kyrie was a woman, he'd be a Chris the Rock girl.
That's a statement. That is a statement. But basically what I'm trying to say is I don't like how we paint these narratives on people's characters and try to use it against them to make it lower in terms of rankings of like where we rank players. I think that's weird.
Well, that's
childish.
That's been happening.
I know, and I don't like it.
For years.
That's why Melo was literally not in the league for, 2-3 years? Mm-hmm. Narratives. Just stupid. And you can't name me players or teams that Melo could not play during that stretch. So it's like it continues on. Like they continue to do it and this and that. It's like it's weird. I don't like it. Y'all need to stop. Let these players play and judge them based off their play. Stop using outside resources to try to justify why you don't like somebody. They're really just hating on people. It's weird. I don't know why I went on to a rant about that. I really don't.
Yeah, I realize like we're kind of a very ranty podcast, but hey, it kind of fits our vibe because at bare minimum we're able to do the thing that we want to. We're pretty much able to be the change that we want, aka dispel some of these bullshit narratives. And sometimes it is long-winded to get to the point. Like we barely even mentioned the Clippers and how Paul George is playing pretty good. And this whole Clippers team is playing good. Like this team, like I already knew this was another dogfight series. Like some people are like, oh, even though I'm saying in Luka we trust, I'm not gonna pretend like this isn't gonna go to get 7 games.
No, 100%.
Like what? Especially the way they played today, it was like damn near perfect basketball. Like there's not a true flaw. And I know, like, you want to know what's weird about this team? As much as we were talking about like star power and sometimes it shouldn't trump things, this team has star power and it fits. Like their star power fits. It's the rarest case in the world.
Jesse, why does it fit?
Why does it fit?
Yeah.
Well, Kawhi is injured right now, so
the answer is coaching. They have a good coach, and that's what happens when you have a good coach. Things might clash. I understand that not everything is a perfect fit. Because to sit there and say Clippers have the best fit, perfect fit,
they're not.
I don't agree with that. I don't think they fit perfectly, but I think they make it work.
I think that for the level of talent that this team has, it shouldn't work on paper. You want to know what this team is like? It's like if you know how in FIFA, like my team or my league, whatever, they have a chemistry rating, and so you can't just put whoever you want on a team. I feel like this Clippers team basically ignored that. Like they literally played through it, and they played enough games to where it's like it's just it's like an infinite symbol underneath. It's irrelevant. Because this team should not work. This team has too much star power to work, quite frankly.
Yeah. And they have star players that clash in terms of what they bring. Like, I feel like a lot of the players bring the same thing. Like James Harden, like that's why we don't see James Harden. And exactly. Harden and Russ kind of clash. I feel like PG and Kawhi clash.
Yeah.
They clash. And then they have great role players.
I'd argue Kawhi and even Harden at times clash a little bit.
Yeah, because they both want to operate in similar mid-range type areas sometimes. So it's like it, but he makes it work. That's why I say Ty Lue.
Is Ty Lue a better coach than I honestly thought? I didn't know
he's the second best coach in the league.
But I think the coach from the Thunder won Coach of the Year this year, right?
Yeah, he just won it. Shouts out to him. Yeah. Well deserved.
Yeah. But so just to be clear, you said you had the Mavericks because Clippers curse.
No, I think they just have the best player in the series, Luka.
What about you, Greg? Who's coming out of this series?
I think it's the Mavs are going to come out, but I'm kind of hoping the Clippers do.
In Luka we trust, so I'm picking the Mavs. And we can say we saved the best for last. Timberwolves versus Suns. I know this is like a sweep, but I'd argue that this series right here is a little bit more depressing than the Lakers series.
I'm enjoying it.
Because I'm talking about in terms of the fall off.
Well, in the beginning of the year of the season, we called it.
Thank you.
We said
thank you. We said that. Yes, 100%. Glad you brought it up, Greg.
I was being Delulu.
I feel like it was just me and Greg standing on that hill that there was frauds.
Yeah, we were. It was us standing on that hill saying they're going to be
They
frauds.
was like, what do you mean they have this? I'm like, bro, they had 3
I thought Bradley Beal
decided to join.
I thought Bradley Beal would be able to. I thought someone was going to be able to step up throughout the course of the season and be a facilitator. Because Book and Beal have both done it before. So I didn't think I was crazy and thinking, okay, one of them can do it. Which one? It doesn't really matter. But one of them can do it because they had to do it for their previous teams. Because Bradley Beal had to do it over in Washington, even though he was losing every fucking game.
But did he do it?
Yeah, he did it.
How many playoff appearances did they make?
Bro, okay.
The answer is zero. The answer is zero. The answer is zero, bro. The last time we seen the Wizards in the playoffs was probably when John Wall was playing.
It was when John Wall was playing.
And John Wall was the best player on the team when they won.
Actually, no. Russell Westbrook.
They made the playoffs?
I think they made the playoffs. It feels like they made the playoffs.
Then Russell Westbrook was the best player on that team. Average a triple-double. I remember.
Here it was.
That's just crazy to me. 3 losers joined forces, and we thought that they was going to win. I think that's crazy to me. I don't understand it.
Insanity, really.
Like, bro, I don't understand it.
But yeah, we were right. I mean, we did call them frauds at the beginning of the season, and now we are correct.
This is like the most obvious series to me, bro. Honestly, to me, Phoenix exceeded my expectation. I expected them not to make the playoffs. So they did better.
Yeah. Okay, so hey, circling back really quickly. Yeah, they qualified for the playoffs in 2020 the 2020-2021 seasons. They beat the Indiana Pacers in the play-in, and then they got smoked by the 76ers. So they did make the playoffs, and that was with Beal.
I guess I could clap my hands for that. I guess.
You should, nigga. You should.
Even though Russ was the best player, Russ is the reason they got there, but it is what it is.
So I want to ask, where do they go from here?
Trade everyone.
Do they just blow it up?
All 3.
I don't think they will, though.
Trade D-Book too?
So here's this is me being a hater. That's why I said trade everyone. And realistically, that's what they should do. But if we're thinking logically, all 3 of these players next season is going to be making $50 million each.
Oh my God.
$150 million between 3 losers. Crazy.
And Beal has a no trade.
Nasty. Yep, that's what I was going to get to. But let's say he didn't have the no trade. Who in their righteous mind would trade for Bradley Beal that's getting paid $50 million and just put up a season like this?
How many years left?
He signed an extension. He got like 3 years. 2-3 years. Kevin Durant has like 1-2 seasons left. $50 million. Old. Has been banged up. Would you trade for that player? So ideally, the only one that makes sense where you can get a good offer for is Devin Booker. Because if I asked you, would you trade for a Devin Booker who's 27 years old, making $50 million? I think the answer would be
yes. Depends who you got to give up.
Exactly. But you see how the tone changed for like, I'm interested, but what's the package? You feel me? Like, let's negotiate. But the other 2 were I'm hanging up the phone. I don't even want to talk. I have nothing to talk about. So ideally, trading Devin Booker would give you the most value back. The way I would play it is I would trade Devin Booker, try to get young assets, draft capita, stuff like that. Then in the next season, bring in a point guard because that's their biggest issue. They don't have a fucking point guard. I don't know why they thought that shit would work. I said that's the reason why they was going to fail. Get a good point guard. And once you have a good point guard, now you could have Bradley Beal focus on scoring, Kevin Durant focus on scoring, and the team will be a little more well-rounded. build their value back up, and trade them anyways. I think that's the best thing they could do. Anything else, I feel like they're wasting their time. I don't think they have good picks.
I think Matt Ishbia was a little too gun-ho when he bought this team. And me personally, I don't feel like he was wrong in making the KD trade. I'll stand on that hill. I don't think he was wrong in making that trade. I feel like he fucked up. He made the Beal trade. That's where he fucked up.
He got KD. You see, you're wrong. That's where you're wrong.
See, I don't. KD, I don't feel that. I feel like they didn't. Because they had quite a few things that were wrong with the team previously, in terms of wanting out of Ayton, which, being honest, I think they were kind of right to do. Look at him now.
Yes, but
they're very much right.
When they did the KD trade, Ayton was not part of that. Ayton was part of the team with Kevin Durant when they lost to the Nuggets last year, so that is not even the same thing.
No, but here's the thing: they still had to move him. Like, they still had to, like, even though, yes, what you're saying is that they didn't do it immediately, they still had to do that move. And also, they still had to move Chris Paul as well.
But just because you have to move players doesn't mean do whatever.
Yeah, because they have Yusuf Nurkic, but they replaced one position and not the other. That's their biggest downfall. They replaced their center, which is good. They got Yusuf Nurkic, shout out to them. Solid center. He listens, unlike Ayton, and, he's able to be a bucket sometimes. And sometimes he's going to be the bane of your existence. That's just kind of him. That's just kind of how he is. He's either your best friend or your worst enemy. No in between. But they never replaced a point guard. To your statement, they never replaced a point guard, and you had dumbasses like me believing that, oh yeah, one of these guys could be a point guard enough, or they could develop these skills, because they were put in bad situations to where they had to be playmakers. Like, I feel like the logic is there. Like, I understand that, oh yeah, they're losers, this, that, and the third. But, like, I feel like these are logical steps that you could be sold on if you were executive of a team.
All right, so this is where, like, where it diverges. So let me ask you this. What does it mean to be a point guard? What does that mean to you?
To be a facilitator and make sure everyone's in check and everyone's getting their touches.
So my next question would be, is when have Devin Booker or Bradley Beal show that they're capable of doing that?
In spurts, pretty much earlier in Devin Booker's career. Like, before they started.
I would argue that he was able to play make, but to sit there and say, like, in terms of, like, making sure everyone got their touches, run the offense the correct way, I don't think either of them has ever showed that capability. I think
they haven't.
They brought the ball down, and in turn sets, almost like what I said with Luka, where they look for the shot first, but if something else is available, then they'll go to it. You don't need that from your point guard. I think your point guard should be, okay, Kevin Durant has not touched the ball for 2 seconds, for 4 seconds, 3-4 plays. He might check out. Let me go run a play for him real quick. And it's like, it's not even just stars. It's simple stuff like, okay, Grayson Allen has not touched the ball. He's our defender, so let me run a quick play so he can get a corner three. He's still engaged. Boom. Nurkic, okay, let me get you a post up. You might not score, but the fact that you're receiving the ball and you're engaged in the offense, you're going to come back. Now you're going to try to rebound the ball and this and that. I feel like they didn't do that to Ayton, so he checks out easier. That's not me defending Ayton, saying, oh, he is a great player and y'all are hating on him. Yeah, something was wrong with him. I can't explain it. But you can see early into the game, he would check out because they would just ignore him, not give him no plays, not give him no touches. I literally heard people say, treat him like if you want the ball, go get the rebound. That's a crazy statement.
It's basically like telling a center, shut up and dribble.
And the reason why it's funny to me is because a lot of people have this logic. Something that I've been watching, my favorite thing that I've been seeing in this Minnesota series, you know what it is?
What?
Rudy Gobert is getting post-up plays. That is the most criminal activity I've ever seen in NBA history. Rudy Gobert should never have a post. I don't care if he has fucking Isaiah Thomas on him, bro. He should not get a post up. It's that bad, bro. And you guys seen it. There's plays where Rudy Gobert is scoring it like that was a travel. That was terrible. But they're just letting it slide.
Traveled 7 steps one time on a fast break.
It's bad. It's criminal work, bro. But the reason they are doing it is to keep them engaged. 2 points is just 2 points. That shit will not hurt you, bro. Okay, we did not score in this possession. But the fact that I gave him the ball and now he's engaged, he's going to go play defense. And you guys cannot deny that Rudy Gobert is not playing great defense right now.
And in his career.
I was one of the few players that said, I feel like people will hate on Rudy Gobert for no reason. He was on a shitty-ass Utah team that played no fucking defense, yet they had the number 1 defense because of Rudy Gobert.
That's how good he was.
And I feel like he was put in an island where it's like, okay, do I help or do I stay with my man? He's a team defender, so he's always going to help. So when he helps, what happens? His man is open and his man will score. And now all of a sudden he is a defensive liability. That's an oxymoron, first of all. How can you be the defensive player of the year and a defensive liability? How does that make sense? I'm anchoring the best defense. Like we have the number 1 defense because of me, but I am a defensive liability. That's a crazy concept, bro. I don't understand it. So now you have great defenders in Minnesota with the anchor like Rudy Gobert. It looked like I don't know who could score aside from Denver because, like I said, they have perfect offense. So I can't wait for that series. I think it's going to be the greatest series we've seen in like the past 5-10 years, bro. To be honest, I can't wait. But we're seeing the greatest defense and the greatest offense play head to head next series, and I can't wait. Phoenix.
So you're talking about Knicks, Indiana?
Anyways, that was crazy. That was crazy. Threw me off. Made me fuck up my train of thought. Let me reel it back in. Goddamn. Yes.
I'm so sorry.
So now, to Frank Vogel, terrorist number 2. I feel like we missed some terrorists that we were supposed to mention. I mentioned Joe Mazzulla. We mentioned Darvin Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Vogel's a terrorist. Let me go look to see if I'm missing anybody because we did talk about all the teams real quick.
The biggest one of them all.
Cleveland's coach is a terrorist.
Oh,
Doc Rivers. God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna be real. As much as I would love to be part of this Doc hate, right? Real quick. That man was set up, bro, because this team was compromised by the beginning of the season. They didn't have a chance. They was fun to lose. And then when they got Doc, it stamped that they was going to lose. And the fact that they about to lose in the first round, and I hate that Giannis and Dame got hurt. So now it's going to be like, oh, they got hurt. That's the only reason why Indiana won. But it's like, that's not the truth. I truly believe if both players were healthy, they still would have lost to Indiana, bro. Their team is compromised. So, Doc Rivers, he's a terrorist for sure. I watched them lose the game the other day where Tyrese hit the buzzer beater. That shit was criminal. Who else is there?
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne is not going to help this team at all.
Who's that? Who is Lawrence Fishburne?
To the clip, the TV show on Hulu.
Yeah.
I would say niggas is watching Losing Time.
Stan, you don't know who Lawrence Fishburne is?
I know who it is now. I thought he was an NBA person real quick at first. I was like, wait, who I got confused. I'm with you now. Jason Kidd's on Terrace Watch too. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. See, sometimes being the watching coaches gets tricky, especially when a team like Dallas, where you're just like, is he a bad coach or are his players just that talented? And sometimes it's really hard to tell. Like Eric Spoelstra was that, and I'm not gonna pretend like he was always this great top 5 coach that like he is now. Not to say that he didn't have the talent, but he was on that like that list of coaches where you're just like, is he a good coach or did he just have LeBron for like a little while? Only now we're able to see that, you know, he's one of the best coaches. But
well, looking
it's
back
one of
at
those
it
things
now,
only time will tell.
and also LeBron having his podcast with JJ Redick where he explains how Spoelstra made adjustments, you know, unlike these terrorist coaches that don't do that shit. We was talking about like talents that clash. I don't think there's ever been a talent that clashed more than Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. I've never seen a team clash like that in my life. I've never seen two players that they're literally the same players. So it's like when I saw the decision in my mind, like on one side, I'm like, it's fucking over. They have two of the top 5 players in the league right now. It's packed up. We don't have a chance. Anybody who wants to win, we're not going to win. But then in the same breath, I'm kind of like, how is it going to look with Dwayne Wade and LeBron? They're both non-shooters that love the ball, that attack the paint. So it's kind of weird. Chris Bosh wasn't the 3-point shooter as we know him. He kind of had the midi, the elbow jumper, but like he couldn't space the floor completely. Lord knows they had centers that were compromising the offense. Joel Anthony played way too many minutes, bro. Way too many fucking games. Good Lord, bro. And it's not just him. They had other people like Jamal McGlure, fucking Birdman. Oh, man. The fucking centers was holding y'all back. Good Lord. I was like, just play Bosh at 5, bro, at this point. But y'all did. But I was like, good Lord, these centers are just compromising for real, bro. But I was like, I don't know how it would work. But then I don't remember what they called the fucking cuts that they said it on their podcast, but I don't remember what it was called. But basically, I call them perpendicular cuts, where basically LeBron would go to the basket and at a perpendicular angle, Dwayne Wade would make a cut. So it's like if they come to him,
talking about a backdoor?
It's like a backdoor, but it's angled a certain way, so it's at 90 degrees. And the reason why it's angled at the 90 degrees is like you'll see. So if LeBron's going straight at the rim, straight from like top of the key, then it would be baseline. But if he's at like a wing, Dwayne Wade would cut at the wing also. So it's like it's an easier pass, like a drop off pass.
So there's always a right angle.
And it's like at the timing of it. So it's kind of like either you're gonna stop me, and if you try to stop me, I could drop it off the Wade, and he's gonna go up uncontested. And that was the first time I ever seen that play, and it's kind of like, okay, I see what you're doing there. And then I seen the roster construction change. Then you start getting people like Shane Battier, Mike Miller, Mario Chalmers are still hitting threes. So it's like you're spacing the floor good. So you had good spacing and stuff. So I was like, okay, he's a good coach. Did I know he was this good of a coach? No. I'm like, you have LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. How hard can that job be? He did good. So I give him his credit. He did. He did good. Not great. He did good. You can't have 3 of those players and win 2 out of 4 championships and say he did great. I'm not giving you that. No, fuck that. But the post-LeBron era is where I really looked at Eric Spoelstra like, why are the Heat still contending? Dwayne Wade is old and injured. Chris Bosh got blood clots. And you're still making playoff games. I don't understand that shit. Chris Bosh retired.
Tyler.
Dwayne Wade retired. Like, bro, what's going on?
Before complaining about Tyler Hero, we had to complain about Tyler Hansborough. Bro, those were dark days, bro. Hassan Whiteside. Yo, niggas thinking Hassan Whiteside was the next big thing. Bro, how are you a defensive liability and having a record for blocks?
I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was drinking that Kool-Aid. I was drinking that Kool-Aid.
There's this one guy. It was something Johnson, bro. I don't remember his name, bro, but I thought he was nice.
James Johnson?
No, not James Johnson. It was some light-skinned dude, bro. Lefty, bro.
Oh, fuck. I know exactly who you're talking about. Oh, my God.
I thought Buddy was cold. I'm not going to lie. I was like, yo, he's kind of nice. I don't know. Lefties, they just look different. I'm not going to lie. But I gave Spoelstra his credit after that. I was like, all right, he's a great coach, this and that. When I see teams that can't utilize, like, bro, there's no way you could tell me in a world on paper, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker are on a team with Nurkic, You have Eric Gordon on your bench, Grayson Allen. Who else am I forgetting?
Bobo.
I'm not gonna say Bobo. I went on my way not to say Bobo. No, you can't tell me that team is struggling and about to get swept tonight to Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert. That's the two best players, and Cat. Do you guys remember how you guys used to talk about Cat? Cat's been playing. Not only has Cat been playing, I'm about to make you laugh. KD's been struggling this series, Jesse. I want you to tell me who you think has been guarding him.
Rudy Gobert.
Karl Anthony Towns has been guarding Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant's been struggling. Jaden McDaniels is guarding Devin Booker, so that's why Devin Booker didn't have a chance. Jaden McDaniels is the best defender in the league. He didn't have a chance on that one. I'm sorry to Devin Booker.
I said they have KD. We got Jaden McDaniels.
Yes. And you know what's funny? When he did that, I liked it, and I said, y'all don't know about Jaden McDaniels. I said that shit. People told me to shut up. I have that to propose saved on my phone. I was like, yeah, y'all real quiet now.
I wish you had Twitter for moments like this.
Bro, they don't know
niggas
what
would
they're
look at you like a prophet.
Yes, and they'd be like, how did he know? I watched the games. Who would have thought that if you watch games and don't watch highlights and look at Stephen A. talk about shit, you could formulate your own opinions and analyze the game properly. But no, we don't do that. That's another problem with the NBA today. We listen to Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless, Nick Wright, all these idiots that talk on air and get paid to not watch the games and talk. And then they give opinions and their opinions get stamped. And that's just the truth.
I'm not going to lie, man. As much as we call them idiots and all that stuff, it's a pretty fucking sweet gig. It's a pretty...
No, 100%. I'm not knocking them. Go ahead, get that money.
I'm not going to lie.
But today, I'm complaining to the idiots that listen to them. That's where my issue comes through.
I think it's not the fact that they listen to them. It's the fact that they'll make a good point sometimes. Because sometimes they actually do make good point. No. Hear me out. No. Hear me out. A broken clock is right twice a day. The problem is that a lot of these people are using these broken clocks as their everyday watch. That's the issue.
Say that shit again, bro.
Broken clock is right twice a day. The problem is that they're using these broken clocks as their everyday watch. That's their issue. It's not the fact that, because sometimes they're actually right and they have good takes. I'm not going to discredit, you can say what you want about Stephen A, but I feel that everyone can find one TV personality that they actually do like. Me personally, I feel that he borderline doesn't count, but we're gonna count him for my argument's sake because it's really shaky without him. It's really shaky without him. But
good Lord.
I feel that sports media at times, our opinions become bigger than the man who said them itself. And sometimes we need to admit, is this person biased? Does this person have a history of hating on so-and-so?
That's not my issue.
We need to start
my
checking
issue is the question I'm asking is, are these guys watching the games? And the answer is no.
I don't think all of them are. I think some of them are, but they're just stupid.
They only watch the big games, like LA.
They don't even watch those. They don't even watch those games. They'll have them on, but they're not really actively watching. For example, the TNT crew. 3 months ago, Minnesota's playing. You think they knew who Jaden McDaniels was?
I don't think Charles Barkley remembered who. If it wasn't for the fact that he was forced to watch so many Cat games, bro, I don't think he would know who Cat was. I'm pretty sure that man still thinks that oh my God, Harrison Barnes is still on the Warriors. Yeah,
that's funny. But that's what I'm trying to say. They don't know what's going on. And you said Charles Barkley. I love that you said Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is more reliable than 90% of the people that talk about basketball on the air. And that's what you just said about Charles Barkley. That's a problem. They literally have a game on TNT. I know you've seen it, where they say, "Who does he play for?" Where they put the player on the screen, and they have to guess what team that man plays for, and they cannot answer it. And I'm sitting here, they're naming role players on quality teams. They can't answer it, bro. And this is who they're basically exposing that they don't watch the games. They're advertising it, but we're still
it's like
to
this.
Them like they're raw.
There are times where I'm not even trying to play devil's advocate here. Actually, first off, before we get deeper into this conversation, I'm pretty sure we all can agree that the Timberwolves are pulling out of that next series, right? Good gravy. All agree on that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's already over. Bro.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. In 1 hour. So pretty much, like, I think that they have a harder job than. I think that being a media personality, because there's I'm all over the place with my thoughts. So the fact that sports can be broken down into two drastically different ways with the box score and the eye test, I think that combining with the fact that we forget that some of these sports analysts are media personalities first and then journalists second, because I don't care what you say, you're a journalist second the moment you touch TV. 100%. Like, there are very few people like JJ Redick who are able to do both, but I'd argue JJ is able to do both more due to the fact that he played and he had a long successful career. Some niggas try to talk down on JJ Redick like he never did anything, but like he was a part of very successful teams. Like, let's not have this revisionist history here because he wasn't competing on like every season. Like, let's not have some revisionist history and talk like JJ's a scrub. Okay. Like, I think that we oversimplify how hard their job can be in terms of preparation, because imagine getting up every day basically at 4 a.m. because you have to wake up hella early. This is 4 a.m. LA time. So like, it's early. You have to get up every day hella early, watch these games that are like in the middle of the day. Like, it's very weird timing. Sometimes you have to include travel time. You're not able to consistently get data. And I don't think these guys are making money. I don't think they're making enough money to where they have like interns and stuff or not interns, but people who are able to make quality analysis for them to supplement the fact that they're a media personality on top of that. You see what I'm saying? Because I want to paint a more fair picture to these people. Do they yap? Do they get on here, waste everybody's time, and just fucking yap? And also, yap, to answer the question, yes, they do. But when you're forced to watch multiple sports, because bro, if you're on TV, you guess what? You're the football guy, you're the basketball guy, you're the boxing guy, you're the whatever the fuck we need you to be guy. Okay. If pickleball becomes the next hottest sport, guess what? I want you to know everyone who's anyone in the pickleball league. Okay. It doesn't matter. And I think that sometimes they just get spread thin because the problem is that YouTube honestly spoils us as consumers to where I can just watch the basketball guy do basketball guy things. I don't have to watch the basketball guy be the football guy, be the soccer guy, be the journalist with so many different hats in his closet. You know, I don't know. Am I making sense, Greg? Am I making sense, Dan? Like, I don't know.
I feel like you're making excuses for them. This is a cop-out answer. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a cop-out. Really? How do you feel, Greg?
Want me to tell you your reasoning, bro? So, yes, what you said is true, but why is it that us who have regular jobs and go to school that have to do all these responsibilities in our houses and stuff in our lives are able to find time to watch these games that we are talking about? We don't just watch one sport. We watch multiple. We might be talking about basketball today. Me and Greg on the side talk about soccer daily in detail.
Don't get me started
about
wrestling.
multiple leagues, not just one league, multiple leagues, NBA. Yet I have these takes that make sense. I was able to analyze certain players that these analysts are paid to know, but they can't know. I'm not going to give them excuse like, okay, yes, they have to sit there and it might be inconvenient, but they are getting paid to know these things. Exactly. They don't have a second job. Their job is to go watch the game. So the time that you're saying for them to, that's their preparation for their job. I am doing this as a fan. On top of whatever I have.
At most, they're doing this job at multiple different places. So they're probably on a podcast, their TV show, maybe an interview or something like that, and tweeting on Twitter. Like, you would think they would know the information that they're talking about, but they don't.
Because I think the same way that our generation seeks for clout and things like that, I feel like it's the same thing for these media personalities. Because the messed up thing is that they get rewarded in views by having shit takes. 100%. And I think we underestimate hate watching. I think some people genuinely hate watch Stephen A. Smith. I think some people genuinely hate watch who's that fat bald fuck? Jason Whitlock.
Oh, Whitlock.
Like,
oh no, he's annoying.
No, that's gotta be only white people watching that.
Yeah. But still, like, I feel that, like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm like overly rationalizing it, but I do feel the fact that you have to do that day in and day out with the schedule on top of that. It's like you're almost running out of bandwidth. And Stephen A. Smith is a prime example of that. He has his own show. He has his own show. He has his own podcast. He has the ESPN thing. He has a very popular Twitter following. His fault, bro. If he wanted to, he could outdo. Let me not say outdo Shams. That's fucking crazy. That's insane. But he could compete with some of these other media personalities, and I feel like he honestly does. Like, there's like Stephen A. Smith has like 10 different avenues he has to do, let alone actually analyze the things that he has to analyze. Granted,
I'll give you that.
Some of these other personalities, do they have this intensive schedule? Fuck no. Unless your name's not Stephen A. Smith, Colin Cowherd, hell, even Skip Bayless. You motherfuckers ain't doing no extracurriculars like that. You know? I don't know. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Because I feel for them at times.
I think, like, in terms of yes, they are content creators, so they have to make good content. So obviously, hot takes is good content. Like me and Greg saying, Phoenix is packed up at the beginning of the season. They have no chance. Was a hot take, even though I felt like it was crystal clear, but it was against the consensus. So obviously, yes, you got to do that here and there. You just got to have somebody on the opposite side. I get that. But when you are constantly saying crazy things, like, I can't remember the last good take that Stephen A. has had.
But when was the last time you watched Stephen A?
You're right. And I see clips. I see clips all the time, but damn near every clip I see, it seems like Gilbert Arenas has better takes than Stephen A. Smith.
No, I'm not. No, we're not. That no, I'm
not joking. I'm standing 10 toes on that. I'm not, because I actually watched Gilbert Arenas. And a lot of the stuff that Gilbert Arenas says gets taken out of context.
I'll say
which
this.
also does happen to Stephen A, to be fair.
Gilbert Arenas, I feel that when he had a smaller following, he gave better takes. I feel that he blew up and now he's more of a jokey kind. Yeah. He's always been a jokey guy. He's Gilbert fucking Arenas. But right. I feel like now he's becoming borderline a caricature of himself at times.
That's fair.
So that's why I'm like, he's suffering from Stephen A. Smith syndrome, to where he's doing a lot more now.
Fair. There's a lot more trolling in what he says now, more than
because ever. I'd argue he's more of a media personality in himself than the former basketball player who gives good takes and is also entertaining. I feel like JJ Redick, even though he may not be the most entertaining or the most flashy,
he's the most accurate.
You better get a fucking pen and paper like him, because you better be ready to learn. I love the way he breaks down things. He's very clear and concise. Like, bro, I'm able to follow everything. Here's how good of a job JJ Redick does. I'm working. My phone is flipped down. I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm able to visualize everything that he's saying. Granted, not everyone can visualize these things, but I'm able to still follow along and not see him literally draw the X's and O's. It's a testament to how good he's doing it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Because I don't know. I just feel that like media personalities, they are a necessary evil. And I'm just going to end it on this. Media personalities are a necessary evil. But I think that when you have all these extracurriculars that come with essentially being a celebrity, you're slowly diluting yourself and watering yourself down. I'd argue it's like an actor being really hot and they forget the roles that put them in the first place. If they're taking roles that stray away from the thing that made them popular in the first place, and it's not even like you're being typecasted either, you know? Like, you're just saying, fuck those things. I'm not even going to my bread and butter, you know? Like, these niggas is trying to eat caviar and pretend it's their bread and butter. That's how I feel.
But my thing with that is, okay, so I'm going to give you an example. How good do you think Zion did this year?
I feel like he did pretty fucking good. I mean, he played 70 games this year. He was relatively healthy. He lost weight. He's doing the things that we wanted him to improve on. He's no longer chunky. He literally just failed at the last minute.
All right. And so perfect. You made that assessment yourself. Stephen A. Smith literally said it's time for New Orleans to move on from Zion Williamson. He won't lose the weight.
He called him fat.
He is not healthy. He is fat, and he's not playing good. Zion Williamson this year, I have the stats right in front of me, played 70 games out of 82 this year and averaged 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Only 6?
Well, yeah, he has other players on his team to do those kind of things. He has more of a leak out type role.
I always felt never mind. Just keep on making a point. I don't want to sidetrack you.
But basically, what I'm trying to say is Stephen A. made that narrative. Now people listen to him and they think Zion is not good. You just said Zion 70 games out of 82. That's what we've been dreaming of. We've been dreaming of that. If I told you he was going to do that at the beginning of the year, you probably would have told me to shut up. But he did. And he had a great season. And like I said, I'm one of the people that believe if he was healthy, they would have knocked out OKC. Still would have been a fight, but I think they would have edged him. But we got these people listening to these narratives. And the reason why it's an issue and I have an issue with it is because who are the people that's consuming these information? They are kids, the youth. The youth is consuming the information of these people that are trying to make these statements so they could get clicks. and now they're getting the wrong information and they're learning the wrong things. So that's why I like somebody like a JJ Redick and LeBron James creating a podcast where you could actually learn basketball, actually learning the ins and outs, why people do certain things, why coaches do certain things, how do you make adjustments. I would love to see JJ Redick and LeBron James do a whole episode on just Darvin Ham. That would be the number one episode, bro. I would love it, bro.
We gotta wait till he's retired first.
Just so we could see. Not even they don't have to mention Darvin Ham's name. Just for them to go through the Lakers season this year, just to see, okay, what do you think you should have done? How should you could react it? This is a player coming up with these things, and the coach is just sitting there with his hands in his pocket.
There's a reason why JJ Redick is being offered a coaching job, and all 100%.
Because of that podcast, because they realize JJ Redick is a high IQ player.
He knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Because the media painted a certain picture of JJ Redick, he is just a shooter. You don't get to know that.
I feel like the media also. Oh, sorry. Sorry to intervene. This is still going to be the last time. I feel like the media also painted a picture of him as the angry, artsy basketball nerd who's just like so misunderstood. You know, he wants like he has like unrealistic ideals. I feel that a lot of people remember when he got when he first came back to First Take, and it was like this. He had this big debacle, and he didn't want to do the whole "Will LeBron win the 5th ring" thing this year. Bro, not only was JJ right and not entertaining that conversation because A, it was stupid, and B, you can clearly see from a mile away that neither of these players are in positions to win a 5th ring. You could see that, and now we can see that in the postseason. But everyone's making this big hubbub of like, oh, he didn't want to have the conversation. It's like, bro, when are we? The media has these dumb conversations, and they look at you weird for not wanting to entertain these dumb conversations. What were you gonna say, Greg?
I hate that conversation about are they gonna win a ring this year or not, and I'm glad he didn't entertain it. But there is like you gotta understand what you're getting yourself into with these shows.
100%.
The general basketball audience wants to hear these things
because they've been trained to.
They're not gonna the average basketball fan isn't gonna look too deep into conversations about the game. You know what I mean? It's like the GOAT. It's one of my problems about the GOAT conversation because I always feel like the GOAT conversation is such a
bias.
It's such a nothing conversation, really. Like, what do we get out of this when we're talking about the GOATs? Yeah, it's just really semantics at the end of the day. And it doesn't like deepen our basketball knowledge or even our sports knowledge at all. It would, depending on whatever sport you're playing, you're talking about.
It can be, but it never is.
It never is. It's just like it's like politics. I picked my guy, and I'm sticking to it, and I'm gonna hunker down and defend my guy at all costs. And that's just how I feel about it.
My biggest takeaway would be if, for example, the JJ Redick and LeBron podcast. The biggest thing I've been seeing, because for me personally, I'm not on the board with he's been teaching me a lot of this and that. For me, I've been watching basketball so long that a lot of the things they're saying, I already knew. I didn't know the basketball terminology word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like slot cuts. I've never heard of slot cuts in my life.
Mozgov screen.
Yeah, stuff like that. The Verjao screen. There's a whole bunch of different.
Not Verjao screen.
The Gortat screen.
The Gortat screen.
Thank you.
Stuff like that. There's things that they're saying those words I never heard them use before. Cause I never really played on a team, but I've been watching basketball so long. Go ahead.
Which is funny because I remember when we would play basketball at the courts, and we would do some of the stuff, and we didn't just
that they're saying.
Yes. Yeah, I remember doing
naturally.
I remember doing the Gortat screen, but I only did it because I saw LeBron do it.
They're just smart. So it's there's a lot of things that I'm watching that I know, but I don't know what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
So that in terms of that's what they was able to teach me. But I'm looking through the comments. I don't know if you guys ever read the comments of like after episodes or the stuff they post on Twitter. They're like, yo, JJ Redick and LeBron James taught me that I know nothing about basketball, or they've taught me so much, or I didn't even understand anything they said throughout the whole episode. Like, that's what's dominating the comments. I think that's a problem. Greg just alluded to the point that we was hooping it. And for our audience viewers, this is not like last year or whatever. This was like in high school, early high school, not even the end of high school. Early high school, we was hooping, doing these things. 9th and 10th grade. Because we seen it and we were able to see how certain actions open certain things up. So we just did it naturally. We're able to read the game and stuff. These kids today don't know how to do that because the game is so dumbed down and there's nobody explaining these things to these kids.
Everybody got a bag. Everybody got a bag.
And here's my thing with the bag, because I am a defender. People who know me know I play defense. These people with bags don't have bags. They have tricks. Mm-hmm. There's a difference. There's a difference. So somebody with a bag is somebody like Kyrie Irving. No matter what you do, he's going to pull something out of his bag. So if you trap him, he's going to get out of it. That's what a bag is. A trick is you coming down like, okay, I'm going to go tween behind the back. And then they stop it. So I'm just going to do a step back and shoot it in your face. That is not a bag.
And they spam it too.
That's forcing a bad shot. And that's what these kids do today, bro. I'm watching. So that's why when they're doing these little, let's play one-on-one, 3 dribble max. That's not helping you if you're not developing how to create space. If you're just going to shoot over me every single time, nobody's getting better. I hear so many people like DeRozan say, oh, when I take these mid-range jumpers, they're not a bad shot because I practice them. Just because you practice bad shots don't mean it's not a bad shot. It's still a bad shot. You're just making it. That's it. I'm watching Dame take logo shots. Oh, it's not a bad shot because he hits them at a certain rate. It's a bad shot because what happens when he stops making it? It's a lower percentage and it's a bad shot. And now we're going to come at Dame talking about something. He's inefficient. He's not this. He's not that. He's gotten away with taking these half-court shots. And now when it's time and we're taking these half-court shots away because we're picking them up 94 feet and he don't know what to do because now he has to go to the three-point line and now there's a secondary defender and he's stuck. And now he's shooting 34% from the field in the series. Oh, Dame is washed. Dame is this. Dame is that. You guys allowed him to be this because of y'all takes and what you guys make people believe what good basketball is. So that's why I think these shows are so bad because they don't teach you real basketball. They just teach you narratives and stuff. Like even the Jimmy Butler thing we was talking about. They created that narrative. That narrative did not come out of nowhere. Nobody in the locker room said these things because why are teammates coming out and say Jimmy Butler was a great teammate? These media people made it up, ran with it, and now everyone has these opinions. They're cancerous to everybody, and just these media people got to do better. I think it's a problem that these kids are like, I don't know what these things that LeBron James and JJ Redick are saying. And it's sad because not only are they explaining it, they have a clipboard where they're showing you on the X's and O's. JJ Redick for the first 15 minutes is explaining the terminology of everything before they use it.
It's not just one. Every
episode. And then on top of it, they have clips of you seeing exactly what they're showing you so you can see the actual action. And these people are still confused. That's a problem. This is our future.
To nitpick what you're saying. You're 100% right, Stanley. When you say it's just kids, it's oversimplifying it because Stanley, I know grown adults in my phone book right now who follow basketball, not like people who don't know basketball.
No, 100%.
We all know someone who literally would be so lost. And not even that. Actually, no, I'd argue a lot of people will be lost. I'm lost watching it. But the difference 100%. Is that I have the willingness to learn. Like, yeah. Actually, no, I'm losing the point. But like when you say it's only kids, you and yourself are dubbing down your point because it's not just kids, it's adults too. And that's the point I want to make. So back to you.
Yeah. So my thing, the reason why I kept saying kids is yes, adults might not know, and that is a problem too. But the reason why I'm emphasizing kids is because kids are the future. These are the new players that's coming in. And so when we have new players that's coming in, like literally this next draft class, you guys can't name me one player in this coming draft. I can't either. I'll be like, oh, exactly. I can't wait to see him. Stop it. He's going to be a nothing player. A nothing player. No, but that's what I'm trying to say. There's not one, and I'm somebody every year in the draft. I have a certain handful of players like, okay, I can't wait to see him. He's gonna be nice. He's gonna be nice. I don't have one, not one. Why? Because the game is getting dumbed down, and they don't understand things. Same thing with AAU. You would think at AAU they would teach you these things, but no, at AAU they're just getting the best. The best players
from the beginning.
Bro, because it's the biggest issue in basketball. Because what they do is instead of teaching you good basketball, they get the best players in the city, put them on a team, and just be like, play. Your talent should be good enough. I don't have to coach you. So now that's where you get the whatever offense where there are no schemes. And then, so basically, when I say whatever offense, is literally what the Phoenix Suns run now, where they have 3 scorers and basically, they have 3 scorers, so just give them the ball and something will happen. That's terrible. Joe Mazzulla's running that. Frank Vogel's running that. Darvin Ham is running that. Who else is a terrorist? Doc Rivers be running that. All these people that I say are terrorists, they do that. But then somebody like Ty Lue, who I say is a good coach, he's not doing that. It might look like that, but boom, they'll slow it down, call a timeout. I watched Frank Vogel in game 3. It was the funniest thing ever. Call a timeout because he didn't like the way his team was playing. You know what happened after that timeout? They got a shot clock violation. Do you understand how crazy it is that you get to talk to your team for 1 full minute explaining you guys are not playing good, you need to be doing this, and yeah, this is the point of emphasis and this and that, and the team stopped you directly after the timeout? You couldn't even get a shot up? That's criminal. That is criminal activity, and he should be fired. There should be 5 coaches that are fired by the end of the season this year. If not, that's crime. I think I'm done with my rants.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that this was a pretty good episode. You know, on episode 43, we proved that you can't fuck with Stan Lee. You know, and yeah, those are our prediction, and those are our thoughts on the playoffs so far. I guess we can do a predictions later on, probably later on. Mm-hmm. Definitely not now. But yeah, I think we got everything off our chest. So like, share, subscribe, all that jazz, and tune in next time. All right. And yeah.